Welcome to our Devos. This week we have been talking about the blame game, a game that Christians a lot of times play and nobody wins. Because when we look at our lives and when we examine how things can get messed up and fall off track, it's real easy for us to point fingers and try to reason so deeply that we can reason ourselves out of action. Now today there's going to be one that very few Christians ever vocalize. But I guarantee you this attitude, this blame is going to be found in a lot of people's hearts if they're truly opened up and examined. That is, when things go wrong, sometimes we blame God. We blame God. We don't disbelieve God, we blame Him. We say, well, this happened because, God made it happen. God did this to me. God hates me. God means ill for me. We start to think this way. For the few people, and there have been a very few that I've had the privilege to have them confess this to me and say something like this to me. If they know it up front, it's better. But if you don't, it's dangerous. Because I think a lot of people that are in their lives and when they find themselves in messed up situations, I think that at their heart they have a blame for God going on and they don't want to vocalize it, so they do things like avoiding Him. They don't want to talk to Him. They spend time talking to other people and they pretend like they're worshiping Him, but they don't want to involve Him. They don't want to pray because they blame God secretly for why things are the way they are. And if we are really honest about our examination of Scripture, we'll see that this idea of blaming God is not a new one. It's actually very ancient because Adam did it. In Genesis chapter 3, if you remember, what is Adam known for? Of course, Adam and Eve are known for committing the first sins. And Eve ate the fruit first, and then Adam eats after her. Well, when God confronts them, when God says, look, why has this happened? Who told you you were naked? Why is it that you have this shame? Why are you hiding from me? God asks them these questions. Adam responds with this. The man said, the woman who you gave to be my wife with me, she gave me of the tree and I ate. Now, if there's ever been a blatant case of blaming God ever in the history of the world, this is probably the deepest one. Adam, who is, his mouth is dripping with the forbidden fruit. He looks at God and goes, well, theoretically, I'm not trying to say why we ate or not. That's a real complex thing. There's a lot of nuance here. And essentially, if you remember, I was taking care of the world on my own, and you're the one that provided this woman for me. So if you didn't provide this woman who brought home the worst drive-thru in the history of mankind, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. He actually blames God for the reason why sin has come into the world. And so why is this dangerous? It's dangerous because it's easy for us when things are really spiraling out of control in our lives to really look at this as just a byproduct of God's evil cosmic plan to hurt you. I know that sounds petty and it's borderline sarcastic, but really, we can get to a place where we look at our life and we look at God and we say, well, you know what? Maybe God just wants to hurt me. Maybe He wants to make me miserable. Maybe He wants this. And we forget what we know of who God is, that He is true, that He is loving, that nothing passes into our lives without first being passed through the filter of His love, that while we go through things and while we're in the middle of messes, God promises that He will be with us. And also, the overarching principle that we are living on a cursed world. So bad things are going to happen in our lives. What do we do with that? Do we stand and blame God and stand in accusation of Him? Or do instead we lean into Him for His love and His guidance and His direction, not blaming Him, but asking Him to provide for us and to love us through the deeper parts of our pain? Regardless of what you decide, one promise I will make to you is that blame will not serve you. It's only going to further tighten this world's grip on your heart and keep you from the God who died to save your soul.